For a very long time, women and land have been completely separated in this country. When Groups Kenya came in and talked about women getting a chance to do something about the land, I said, I'll go along with them. I said, we are going to do it together, because women have been out of this business for a very long time.
Roots Kenya values that the community need to be able to say, this is the assets I own, this is the amount that they cost, and I want you to compensate. Communities who are sitting on areas that have minerals, they will move. So that's not negotiable. But how they will move is what matters. And as an organization, we are preparing the community to move in a way they will be, one, be compensated in the right way, be relocated in the right way, and they can have benefit sharing over a long time over those resources.
There has been a failure on the side of the government. We have lacked political goodwill because most of the grabbing has been done by people in government. They're the ones who have been grabbing land, either in the county councils or in the national government. They're the ones who have been taking this land. So it is now from that point that Roots Kenya now comes in, because after realizing that probably there is no goodwill, political goodwill from the government, then we get involved as the communities, so that now we can say we want to safeguard this land because we want to make use of it in future.
The first one is on unblocking of land in Lari, specifically in areas of Kenali and some parts of Kejabi Ward where people do not have green cards. Court process, how far are we? Because this is one of the catalysts to grabbing, even now private land. The next question, or question number 2, is on the issue of compensation. Grabbing of public land in most cases is cleverly hidden as compensation. Because we need an access road somewhere. Now the people of Kamboro go to Nyandoma and identify the stadium so that those people who gave the access road can be compensated, so to speak, with a stadium in Nyandoma Ward. What process, or what is the right process that is supposed to be followed so that people are compensated in the right way?
If there is any reason for any private property to be acquired by government to provide access for public purpose, then the government will pay for that access, and then nothing else should happen. You can negotiate, it's compulsory acquisition, it will be valued, and the value of that portion of land which has been acquired for public purposes, not for private use but for public use, will be compensated. If there is any other public land available, public land that has not been reserved for any particular use. See, when it is a stadium or a school or a hospital or even an open space or a park or a cemetery, it is public land that has been reserved for those purposes, for those exact uses, nothing else. So it cannot be excised for private use anymore. But there will be other public lands that the county would have identified that are available for allocation, for the expansion of town or for industrial development or for residential use or for anything like that, which the county then will ask the National Land Commission to manage the process or administer the process of allocation. Then that person could be considered for allocation in that kind of environment, not to excise a piece of another public land for that purpose.
Although I'm not from Kiambu, I'm from Laikipia, I have seen as if that problem can also crop in other places, because I don't know the mechanism that you are going to use very soon as far as the illegal division of the land is concerned, because even from the radio and the media, we normally hear that if you want a good land, go to Kiambu because they divide roads and they move like hot cakes. So I am wondering now the mechanism that you are going to use, because the women are going to suffer if that division will continue. It seems as if we will be homeless and our children, I don't know now the quick action that you are going to take. Please, I would want to know.
Thank you very much for coming out very clearly. Yes, land in Kiambu goes like hotcakes. Hotcakes, it is true. And it comes done illegally. Some plots actually are not even subdivisible. And we're making attempts to, as much as possible, communicate to the population that there's some land that has not gone through the legal process. There are those documents that you need to lay your hands on to be sure that land has been properly subdivided. We've also been in touch with the various players within the process of land management. For instance, we've communicated with the various land boards to tell them they should not transact on any land unless it is received a clean bill of health from the county government. For instance, if someone is subdividing a piece of land in plots that are so small and are not developable, and they find their way to the land boards, it should be rejected at that point, because we have so many people who are buying land and getting ownership documents, but when you attempt to develop it as per the requirements of the building code, you are not able to do so.
Roots Kenya is doing a good job identifying the land. We have had other reports. We have the Jonjo report, we have the Dogo report, which are gathering dust somewhere in government offices. Some work beginning in futility, meaning that at the end of the day, all that has been done, donor money, all the effort has been put in place by the communities. And then at the end of the day, the government is not able to come in to implement and help us implement the same. So maybe coming from the Domo and the General Commission, are we moving anywhere with what has been done by Roots Kenya so far?
As for the reports that are there, and Jonjo and Dumu reports, and what they say, they have identified a lot of public lands that have been grabbed, and they have given recommendation what to do with them. We are following on those. If you have seen, we have got notices going out very frequently to review all those grants. And it's not only that those that appear in Jonjo and in Dumu reports that we are reviewing, because Section 14 of the National Land Commission Act actually says we must review all grants and dispositions. And the reason that is done is because a lot of people, a lot of land and parcels that have not even come up in the Dumu and Jonjo reports have actually, a lot of them that have not appeared in there have also been grabbed. And since the two reports came out, much more grabbing has also taken place. And land grabbing is a continuous process. It is going on right now. As we sit here and talk about them, someone somewhere is grabbing land or planning to grab one. Roots has done a wonderful job, I must say. You have trained future trainers. The women you have trained in Lari will not only be training others in the bigger, larger Kiambu County, but I think the rest of Kenya, they will find out. You have prepared the groundwork for us as an inventory for public land, which we are going to inherit. But once you have had the inventory in place, now you start worrying about how to protect it. You must think about how to protect that so that we don't go back to where we came from.
Communities can be bigger and can be more powerful than the government of the day. And I think that is the responsibility we should take. So I would say that in moving forward, and I found it well affirmed here, is that to the national and the county leaders here, please, let's really appreciate the public participation, community leadership, so that even our work becomes easy.